I put the Pawverbs book in the background display, and I was reading, I feel like people got the wrong idea about the Pawverbs thing yesterday. Like, people thought it meant as like a mean thing toward Kayla or whatever. It wasn't. It wasn't. It's a funny, like, when she bought it for me, it was a funny book. She's like, I like the play on words. I thought you would think it was corny and whatever. I'm like, yeah, it's cute. Thank you. I still think it's a cute, funny gift. The internet is just so out for blood. Like, look, guys, I've had my shitting on people moments, and I'll have more shitting on people moments. We'll watch, a clip that Will Heron TV put together of Nick on the debates last night when every time he went to his chat, it was just people shitting on him. Every time he went to read super chats, it was people shitting on him. We'll talk about that. We'll watch that. And yes, I'm going that it's not a clickbait title. I'm going to defend Nick a little bit today because a lot of people are going after him real hard about the way he talks about me. What do you want him to do? People were sending me clips. They're like, "Oh, Aaron, Nick's insinuating that you're a liar." Well, if Nick's defense is that he never did drugs and this is all bullshit, what do you want him to call me? What's he supposed to call me? What's he supposed to do? Say, oh yeah, everything Aaron said is true. He did all the drugs he said he did. He did all the things he said he did. He brought his kids here. He made SpaghettiOs. He did all this. He did all that. We slept 4 to a bed, for months. Yeah, it's all true. First of all, the sleeping 4 to a bed, like the wife swapping, all that stuff, that's not illegal. But it's humiliating. It's embarrassing. The fact is, guys, he and I are in two different positions. I have nothing to lose. He does. So he has to PR the thing a little bit. Once you've already broken yourself down and you've admitted, I've shamed myself, I've shamed people I love and care about, I lost my marriage by making fucking degenerate decisions. Once you do that, you can kind of shed all the pomposity and you can just talk about what happened. That's breaking yourself down. If you're still fighting a legal fight, you can't just go and say that shit. You can't go, yeah, Aaron's telling the whole truth. Like, people are writing me and they're mad. They're like, Nick's being so smug and he's saying that you're lying and I don't think you are. It's like, guys, what's he supposed to do if he says, oh, Aaron's telling the truth? Then he might as well take a plea deal and plead guilty right now. He's clearly said he's not doing that. He's going to fight the government and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Guys, there's enough facts on my side. For you to believe that what I've told you is true. The only thing I think you could fight is maybe my interpretation of how it makes me feel or whatever, but those are opinion ideas. Those are opinions. Those are opinions on how the facts make you feel. And I know a Jewish man once told me facts don't care about my feelings. Ugh. Anyway, like, people keep writing to me and sending me these clips and all these things in my DMs. And they're like, Nick says you're lying. I'm like, Nick has to say I'm lying until he's ready to plead guilty. Until he's ready to plead guilty, which he may. After the search warrant holds up, after, all the procedural stuff goes through, he still may plead guilty. In fact, it would be the smartest course. It would probably avoid him jail time. But what do you want him to do? What do you want him to fall to? Yeah, it's like the warden in Shawshank. What do you expect him to do? Fall to his knees? I confess, and by the way, add another life term to my sentence. No. He and I are locked in to be, the enemy, the good guy, bad guy combo. I think it's bad guy, but, it's a heel program as far as I'm concerned. Like, what do you expect him to do? So when people send me clips and they're like, what do you think about Nick calling you a liar? I'm like, it's what he has to do. I wouldn't expect anything else. And then what would the other clip we're going to watch today? Somebody sent me a clip of him saying, April doesn't live here. And someone said, how's she doing? And she's living with you and blah, blah, blah. Like, someone was trolling him. He's like, she doesn't live in the house with me. And I gotta tell you, Nick is the king of that. He really is. Like, he leans on that play so much, that half-truth play. I mean, obviously, she came and got all her shit from the house, and she told me she's moving it into the house next door. Like, so she's living on the property. And then she's on the hot mic for his stream at like 11:30 at night. It's not like she's, going down the road 30 seconds and going back to that house after it's over. All right, fine. So she lives next door on the property, and you're still sleepover buddies. There, is that better? I mean, so like people send me all this stuff and they're like, Nick is telling half-truths. I'm like, that's what Nick does. Nick is Mr. Technicality. Nick is Mr. When I'm backed into a corner, I'm going to wait for you to say one word that I think is out of place, and then I'll just hyper-focus on that and ignore the main point. That's what he does. That's what he's been doing when he comments on his case. Oh, there hasn't been any positive drug test of me. Yeah, because you won't let it be released. I haven't tested positive for anything. That's because you won't test to get your children back. So, motherfucker. Oh, man. So, when people send me that stuff, that's why they're part of the title of today's show is Defending Nick Rekieta. Guys, what do you want him to do? And also, it's not in his nature to take someone who's obviously upset him as much as I've upset him and kneel before that person. If he admits that, all this stuff happened, he has to kneel before the truths I've been telling. At least that's how a guy like Nick sees it. He's not going to do that. I'm telling you, his pride, a narcissist's pride is too strong to do something like that. So yes, thank you guys very much for sending all that stuff. But I'm telling you, you're not going to get whatever it is you want. See, Bradley Smith writes in, I find it enraging the way Rekieta dismisses what you say with, Aaron can say whatever he wants and people can judge his credibility without any input from me. Why does that bother you? That's exactly what people are doing. I mean, the cops took 26 grams of cocaine from his house. And I said, yeah, well, I did cocaine at his house and all of them did fuckload more. It's not exactly, that doesn't sound like breaking news. But of course he can't say that's true. He's still trying to defend himself. Lady Godiva says, you forgot the wishing Aaron to make $1 million smug line. Well, that's it. Like, that's a Southern person saying, bless your heart. That's him saying that fucking prick. And if somebody was ratting me out about all the shit I did while I'm under a criminal case, I'd say that fucking prick too. Doesn't make that fucking prick wrong. That fucking prick is still right. He's just that fucking prick. That's what I hope you make $1 million is. So I find myself in the weird spot of defending Nick because everyone else is just like, oh, can you believe he's saying this? I'm like, can you believe he would say anything different? Bradley Smith says, I hope Steel Toe can wipe the smug smile off Rekieta's face one day. What do you mean one day? You don't think we've wiped the smug smile off his face already? First of all, the law did that. The law wiped the smug smile on my face. I can't off his face. I can't take credit for that. But he's definitely seething and angry and has cursed my name privately probably more times than we can count. I guarantee he's been yelling and he's looked in April's direction and goes, "Your fucking ex-husband!" Like, I'm sure it's happened. So we'll talk about that later. We'll play some clips from his stream last night because people want my comments on it. But I don't know what to tell you guys. I mean, a guy defending himself has to call. Like, basically, if you look at my take, I'm on the prosecution side with my take. And if somebody, like everybody on the prosecution side, he's calling them a liar and a piece of shit and awful and all this stuff. Why would I be any different? Why would I get any special treatment? Because I had a relationship with his wife? And how'd that go? And I want to point out again, the Pawverbs book I do find cute. This was not me insulting anyone. It was a funny, jokey, sweet gift when I got it. And we're making fun of the punny title. That's what Kayla did when she bought the damn thing for me. So I felt a little bad yesterday when I was reading YouTube comments and stuff like that, and people were like, oh, it's got to be a dagger through Kayla's heart. I'm like, well, look, I hope not. She's going through what she's going through, but this was intended as, I tell you guys funny little stories about my life. I've been doing that my whole career. I'm telling you guys funny little stories about my life. It just so happens my life was weird when I got that book. So the stories are going to be weird. Bearded Trucker says, you look like you're ready to go minivan shopping again. Oh, did I ever tell you guys I got rid of the minivan for April? I don't mean like I traded the minivan and got her. But like when we started seeing each other before we were official, she didn't like that I drove a minivan. And I drove it because it had TVs and DVD players and it would entertain the kids. And she didn't like it. She didn't say it was a deal breaker, but she was embarrassed that I had a minivan. And I traded it in for the badass Tahoe. God, what a fucking goober I was. I hate thinking about that sometimes as I'm like, she didn't really like you, dude. Like, she liked... I won't say she never really liked you. I think she did. I think she was... We had a couple good, really good years. And whatever. Fuck it. Who cares? But she liked me more. Material things do turn her on. And, I'm more of a Menard's dad kind of a guy. But, like, if we take a trip to Vegas, she'd get happier. I bought the Tahoe, she got happier. We bought the truck, she got happier. I hired her here and paid her an exorbitant sum of money, she got happier. People criticize her on the internet, she got less happy. It's always a bitch to see the signs after it's over, It always sucks to see it afterwards, but better late than never, right? Once the drugs got involved, it became really easy. It was just too late, and it was super painful. Did that shirt come with a free bowl of soup, says GZ's Tall. Oh, nice shirt. Bet you buy a shirt like that, you get a free bowl of soup with it. Huh, looks good on you, though. I used to be able to do a better Rodney.